So without further ado, please welcome, all the way from New York City, Mr. Nikolas Kron. Give him a hand of applause.
You know, you can be a great hotel developer in Florida, and now you're about to try your first hotel venture in New York City. Slightly different animal. And as an investor, I'm going to have to think twice about investing with you in a hotel project in New York City if it's your first project, whereas I'd have a lot more confidence investing with you if it was a hotel project down in your native local market of Florida where you've done 5 other projects so far. Tell me you've brought in an experienced partner in the New York City area that's done many hotel residential projects before. Now I'm a lot more interested again. So it's this type of information that our database allows you to add to the listing. So as an investor, when you're sorting through the database, you want to be able to find the types of deals that you're looking for. Additionally, we want to make it that there's enough information that you can start to make some first-level decisions. So all of our listings have the ability to have, obviously, a short executive summary, but also a full attachment profile. So you can put together a nice Word document with an executive summary. You can have a PowerPoint presentation with photographs, and most importantly, the deal sheet, the Excel deal sheet. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit more detail in a few minutes. I'm going to give you some tips about what I think should be included in that deal sheet and how it's supposed to look to make sure that you get the most value out of your opportunity to pitch to the investors. So what I guess we're trying to bring to the market is a place where there is a community of like-minded individuals, both investors and developers. And of course, we have the brokers, both mortgage and real estate, and we have the attorneys and the accountants and those other people that are involved in the industry, because we want to get to the quality deal flow. As I go through the rest of my presentation and the tips that I've got for you, we try and limit the deals that come into the database to make sure that they have these types of packages put together, because there's nothing worse than seeing an advertising for a great investment that is going to change your life and it's going to make you a fortune, and it doesn't give you any more information. They may tell you it's in the local Chicago area, but beyond that, everything else is confidential, and we can't tell you anything until you call us up, give us your bank account information, and at that point we'll consider sharing some of the details if we have them in our control. So what we've tried to do is to push away anybody that's going to just write a pitch and focus in on those that have got materials that are substantive and that can allow an investor to make a first-level decision as to whether they're interested in the deal or not. That's where we're coming from. I'm not suggesting you have to use our service. That'll be up to you as we go through this. I'm going to talk to you more generally about what does it mean to put together a joint venture. So I thought what we would do is we'd start off from the deal side. There's an old adage: you can never be too rich, too thin, or have too many investors. And that's really where we're coming from. So we really want to make sure that your network of investors is as large and as robust as it can be. So where do you find investors? Where do they hide out? Well, there's another good adage: you go where the money is. Wealthy people, successful people like to enjoy themselves, and they like to find places where they can relax and spend time with other wealthy and successful people. Those are the country clubs, the golf clubs, the tennis clubs, the other places where comfortable people like to try and let down their hair and relax a little bit. You should probably go to those sort of places as well. You should mine your own network. Speak to as many people as you can. Come to events like this. Speak to people like JT, who have got large and robust networks. But when you've mined your network, you have to have something to say. So you can't be too shy, but you also can't be too pushy. And when you tell somebody that you've got a great deal, you're going to have to be able to back it up, because the guy that says that they've got a great deal, which is all fluff, is soon going to be pushed to the side and ignored as really just blowing smoke. So what I'm going to try and encourage you to do is to make sure that you have all of your materials set up, because there's nothing worse than going out, starting to speak about whatever project you're working on, getting some interest, and then saying, right, I'll get back to you. And at that point, you've got to go back to your place, and you've got to create all the documents, and you've got to create the summary, and you've got to create, and it takes you 2 to 3 weeks before you're all organized, and then you send off the package. But that investor, if they're a real investor, may have done 1 or 2 other deals in that time frame, maybe researching and doing due diligence on other projects, and really has forgotten about you and your project, and you're now trying to catch up. So what I would suggest strongly is have your materials ready to roll. That when you go out and you start to network and you start to make your pitch, when somebody says, that sounds interesting, can you send me something? The answer is yes. And you send that material by email, by courier, hand deliver it, whatever you have to do to ensure that that individual who has said, yes, I'm interested in learning a little bit more about your deal, has sufficient material to start to pay attention.